Hello, welcome back to Quicks14Blog, Quicks14 here, back to some VB.net game design and programming. Continuation pretty much where we left off from March 11th, and we're going to be going into March 12th, so we're just a little bit here, mostly in this first part for March 11th. And basically what you've seen is we finished pretty much getting the main menu, or the in-game menu, main menu set up. We're now adding our exit game GUI element. Little dialog that pops up with 3 buttons that asks, exit game, and you want to exit back to Windows, exit back to the main menu, or cancel to go back into the game. Very, very simple, basically, and that's basically what we're getting to now. I've made a lot of strides. I really have. I'm definitely ahead. I have lost some programming time this week due to various reasons. I also don't have much right now. In fact, while I'm encoding this, I'm working on one of my essays for online class. Basically, where we're at here, and I just want to explain a couple things because I got some great questions and stuff, so I'll try to do this as quickly as possible. The in-game, what you're seeing here is basically GUIs. That's the primary focus of what we're working on the in the engine, on the game, getting these GUI elements in there, getting them working. If they have stuff that has interface with them, whether it's like input or the load save game and stuff like that, we'll work on that as well. But for the main part, we're just focusing on GUI elements at the moment, and that's kind of how I'm doing this bit by bit, breaking things down, working on it that way. And anybody asked me, there was a great comment up on one of the last vblogs about whether or not the game would be multiplayer or an MMO, and to be honest, I don't know. I don't know too much about VB.net communication, like client to client, something like that. I know a little bit about connecting to the internet, sending a web browser, reading something from a page, or even a file, and downloading a file. I know a little bit about that. I don't even know how to do databases. In fact, that's actually coming up in my intermediate VB class later this week. Is doing databases and interfacing with databases on a program, whether it's MySQL or Microsoft or Access, for example. So it's something to look at, something I'll look into. If I think it's something that's applicable and I think they'll actually help on the engine, I'll throw it up on my checklist. But for now, it's not top priority. But it's a very good question, and it's stuff like that I like to hear from you guys. Throw them out there. Let me know, whether it's by email or in-game, or up on the on YouTube or on the Chaos Rift forums. I've got a project page set up there under game projects, along with all the other great projects people are doing. Ground Up Engine, Blades Brother Engine, all kinds of different engines that you should check out too once you're done here, if that's not where you came from. So definitely check them out, and please leave your feedback, and don't be afraid to ask where I'm at right this moment. To date, not what's on the vblog. I will gladly share you with some information about that, and of course, it'll make you look forward to those vblogs, and I'll have even more information in those as well. So this is where we're at right now, and that's what I'm working on. That's what I'm focused on. I didn't get as much, like I said, I didn't get as much programming as I would have liked to this past week. I've been pretty busy with school. In fact, I'm kind of doing the encoding of this and setting this up for you guys, and that's why I'm kind of behind on updating. I was supposed to have a Star Trek Online vblog, and that didn't come together. I'm going to have my Magic 9 LP with this instead, and while I'm doing this, I'm also working on an essay for an online class that's due like tomorrow, so keeping me busy. On top of that, as you can probably hear a little bit, me coughing, me having whatever, it's spring. I have year-round allergies. Anyone who's watched my videos for many times, at LPs, whatever, knows that spring, in particular, kicks my ass. You guys really probably didn't get to hear as much before for other reasons, but I got crap in my throat. My nose is bugging. I got a headache. It's horrible. I hate Nebraska. I hate Nebraska in spring. I just hate it. It just kicks my ass. So I might be a little lacking in these areas too. So I want to get this out to you guys while I still am able. So just want to touch real quick before we get into live commentary about this stuff, and I know you guys are skipping some of these things, and that's fine. For you programmers and stuff that are like, I don't want to watch you debug this or add stuff or hear stuff that I already know, or they're like, you're totally wrong, whatever. First of all, let me know. Tell me your comments. I want to hear them. I want to hear your feedback. Even if it's like, that's a great job. Even if you think that wasn't the greatest way to do it. But here's an idea. Whatever. Be constructive, be cool, be whatever. Alright? And if you don't want to watch the entire 4 parts, that's fine. You can watch the first and the last one. That's what a lot of you guys do. I know. I watch. I watch the numbers. And it's cool. I like to put as much stuff in here as possible. And unfortunately, I can't quite as much as I'd like to. And with it sped up, to show the novice programmers, those just getting interested, those just starting out, that hey, everybody starts here, everybody's got to start somewhere, and there are problems and there are debugging, and it's a learning process. Keep at it, keep going. Your guys's, my passion for this, as much as your guys's influence and comments and encouragement and everything else to it, helps motivate me to keep at it. I know how much this project will help me in the future, let alone it being pretty cool and a pretty cool game. Whether it's a finished game or not, it's gonna help me, and it has helped me, and I'm still learning stuff, and it's just amazing. It's a lot of fun, and I love sharing it with you guys. So we're gonna go into live commentary. We're gonna get into March 12th near the end of this video, so stay tuned. Of course, part 2, much more with guis, so please stay tuned. Alright, this is really cool. This is very exciting. We really have some overlays here. Besides just going back into the game and having our main menu overlay here, we actually have the exit game overlay, which you can see here. This is fairly centered to the screen. I might move it a little bit more to the left. As you noticed, excuse me, probably while I was coding, we are using the same graphic that we use for the menu button over here, which is really cool. I figured it would work fine here because it was small enough, and in fact I'm right. In fact, I have extra room over here for some odd reason, so I might, like I said, I might move this over without having to really move these buttons. As you can see, they work properly. Basically what's going to happen here, you exit game, you click menu, it's going to go back to the main menu. That's pretty much what we're going to code next, and the obvious one is Windows, go back to Windows, which is really, really neat. Cancel obviously goes back to the menu, and of course you can go back to the game. So we actually have a tiered overlay here. This is really, really exciting. It's nice to see the GUI, my GUI system, my GUI class really, really working here. And as you can see, I can't click any of the buttons behind it. It's still drawn properly, which is awesome. And that's really, really exciting. So we're going to go ahead and pretty much code the menu back, which it should be interesting because it's basically going to close out the entire game. Excuse me. Game overlay, go back to the main menu. So we pretty much need to set this up properly, so it's going to clear everything. Exactly how we're going to handle this, I'm not sure. The exit to Windows one is probably a lot easier, so I guess I'll code that first, just because it's a much simpler, and it would cause a ton of problems. So I'm trying to think about what could be doing it under choose character, because that's basically what we're using right now to do this. Yep, sprite chosen. I'm, honestly, I don't think we can really make it work 100%, because of the static part. That's a real problem. So for now, that part isn't going to work properly. And honestly, as much as I usually don't do that, I'm going to leave it alone, because like I said, we have our character screen to rewrite, and we're still using a template which is not very efficient, so it's not going to work 100% correctly. Everything else does. Exiting the game works, going back to the menu, it works okay, but when we try to come to a new game, we have issues. So for now, we're just going to leave it as it is. Not the ideal thing to do. I wouldn't usually do it that, but it's something to work on, so it's going to be left like that for now. So thank you guys, thanks so much, all for now. Stay tuned, I'm sure there's more coming up, probably right after I'm done talking here, so don't go nowhere. Hello everyone, welcome back. Continuing on our programming. Probably didn't miss very much, continuing on how I'm cutting this up. Hopefully this new format is working out really well. I won't lie, I haven't even put the first one together yet at the time of this recording, but I'm assuming this will come together okay. So where we left off, of course, was putting in the overlays, and we got the main or the primary menu that in the in-game to come up, and of course the exit game menu to come up, overlaid on top of each other on top of the game to make it look paused when it comes up, and then the overlay on top of that. So now it's time to work on the options in Game GUI, which is very, very similar in reality to our main menu options. It will be smaller, obviously, because it's an overlay, so it's not going to take the entire screen, but its actual layout and its actual functionality